By the way, with that wind up, by the way, I understand that you were an aspiring fiction writer. I see why.
Oh, yeah. Well, I understand your view that you can cut half of the agency and it won't affect people's health or their water, their air. That to me is a big fiction, Mr. Zeldin. Maybe you would give a instead of coming in here and suggesting that any grant that takes lead out of the water must be waste, fraud, or abuse because you need
time has expired.
Because you need the money for a tax cut for rich people because you're totally beholden to the oil industry. You could give a rat's about how much cancer your agency causes.
Wow. A prime example of a more aggressive kind of congressional hearing that the Trump team has brought to Washington. Joining us now is one side of that jousting that you just saw, EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin. Lee, good to see you. Boy, it's kind of hard to answer a question when you get a tirade of insults thrown at you like that. But just to clear the record, you were not suggesting that taking lead out of water is a waste of money, were you?
Taking lead out of water and more is important as part of the core mission of EPA. It's statutory obligations that we fulfill every single day, and we do it proudly.
And I'm just curious, what do you make of this new style? It's not only you, other members of the Trump administration are giving back as hard as they're getting. What do you make of this new style of congressional hearings?
Well, I'm sitting in front of Senators Whitehouse, Markey, Schiff. These people have been advancing what is a con job on the American taxpayer, this green slush fund, tens of billions of dollars, where they're giving out money through self-dealing and conflicts of interest to unqualified recipients and reducing agency oversight. We're going to call it out. We're going to stop it. So that $20 billion, I'm not before Congress to put anyone on warning that I might take action on it. It's all terminated, all of it. And we will fight this out on behalf of the American taxpayer. We're not going to sit there before Congress and allow them to gaslight, to advance these con jobs, and to be left unaccountable. We will be that voice on behalf of the American public. It's a key part of the Trump mandate.
So what actually happened to that money? This 20, you referred to it as throwing gold bars off the Titanic. I mean, this is right in the, just for those who've forgotten, after the election, that period before Trump was inaugurated as president, they were just throwing money out there as quickly as they can, billions and billions of dollars, putting it into a special account that was going to be drawn out of. What happened to that account? What happened to that banking account where a lot of this money ended up?
Right now, this money is frozen. There's litigation. The grants are terminated. We're now in a closeout process. And what happened at the end of the Biden administration is that they put $20 billion at this outside bank to give to 8 pass-through entities. Some were brand new. Right. And that money was going to go to other pass-through entities. And there was all sorts of waste and abuse built into the design of it. So President Trump gets elected. We see it was actually a Biden EPA official who observed, caught on camera, that they were tossing gold bars off the Titanic. Oh, that's President right. Trump gets sworn in, and it is a directive from President Trump to make sure we're getting to the bottom of it, and we're fulfilling a promise to the American people. We're doing it proudly.
But there are some courts that are objecting to this and that are holding you back from actually delivering the money back to the Treasury?
A D.C. District Court judge issued a ruling, just like so many other district court judges across the country have issued rulings to try to prevent President Trump and this administration from being able to do the job that the American public elected them to do. But then there's an appeals process. Yes. And the Supreme Court has already weighed in on different cases. Now, this is a case that the plaintiffs are essentially alleging a breach of contract. That should be litigated inside of the Court of Federal Claims. That D.C. District Court judge didn't even have jurisdiction, but that didn't stop the district court judge from trying. All
right. Meanwhile, a lot of members of Congress were upset. They don't want to claw back any kind of clawback from the Green New Deal. EPA itself is directly involved, as you were mentioning that one case. Are there other parts of the Green New Deal in general that EPA was a part of that you can now claw back money from, money which hasn't been spent?
Yes. On top of the $20 billion of grants that I've canceled, I've also canceled $2 billion, which was comprised of many hundreds of grants through 4 rounds of cuts, working with people connected to DOJ, but they were agency employees for EPA, to get to the bottom of these different grants where money should be spent more effectively. We did it proudly. We're doing this on behalf of the American public. The Green New Deal is one of the issues where, in the name of climate change, there's a willingness to bankrupt this country. They'll say 6 years ago, AOC will say that we're 12 years away from the end of the planet. We're halfway through that timeline. That's not going to happen. In the name of environmental justice, instead of spending $1 on remediating an environmental issue, they'll spend $1 on a left-wing advocacy group to tell us the next dollar should get spent on remediating the environmental issue.
Yeah, it's extraordinary. I want to bring out a positive element. Larry's talked about this week. Liberation Day for gas-powered cars. Getting rid of the Wall Street Journal actually wrote a pretty good editorial today about it, about the Senate voting. The House had voted before to end California's EV quota. Which was being applied all over the United States. This is huge news. Just to get it on the record, do you approve of what has been done, and do you think that the president is going to sign this and that it will become the law of the land?
This is fantastic news. The Senate passed these 3 Congressional Review Act bills that were previously House passed. Now goes to the president for his signature. We are ending California's electric vehicle mandate, which so many other states signed up for. If you want to go purchase an electric vehicle, go purchase an electric vehicle. But if your neighbor wants to purchase a gas-powered vehicle, they should be able to go out and purchase a gas-powered vehicle. We should have one standard for the whole country. We should promote consumer choice. We should have costs that go down. We should be smart in applying common sense. That's exactly what Congress did with this action, passing these 3 Congressional Review Acts. And on top of it, when you pass a Congressional Review Act, if the pendulum swings and a presidential election goes a different way, you can't do something substantially similar in the future. So they didn't just get rid of this Biden EPA waiver for California for today. They can't do this 5-10 years down the road either.
That's great. Well, of course, Newsom is going to sue, but there's a question about whether he may not want to do that, because if he ever runs for president and he sues on this issue, he's not going to win Michigan. Fine, I just have to add there, give me a wrap, but very quickly, Lee, it's Memorial Day weekend. You served bravely in Iraq and elsewhere. You ended your service as a lieutenant colonel. It's, for those of us who have family members, my son was in the Marine Corps. It's not a happy kind of day, Memorial Day. I thought it was kind of a holiday before. It's a very, very solemn occasion because we remember those who sacrificed so much. What are you going to do this weekend, and how do you remember Memorial Day?
On Monday, I'll be with the Secretary of Defense for a ceremony that he is hosting. Other members of the cabinet are going to be there as well. It's important for us to pause and reflect. To the Gold Star families out there watching, we love you. We value our freedom and liberty, and it's because of that sacrifice of your family. The generations that came before us, dying in defense of this flag, our country, our freedom, our liberty. We live in the greatest nation in the history of the world because of that sacrifice. We can never forget it. It's important for every American to pause and reflect on Monday why we get to live in the greatest country in the history of the world.
Thank you for that, Lee. Good to see you.